Hello and welcome to Not Your Mother's Midlife Crisis. I'm Chris. This is my co-host, Chris.
Hello, Chris. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I wanted to share something with you. One, first of all, I decorated our tree. You may not be able to see it, but it has hearts on it.
Yes.
So my husband bought us this tree, which was very sweet. He bought it for Christmas, but it was part of that Rittenhouse in
Yes.
Brigantine. It was like $80 tree. I'm like, I don't need an $80 tree, Brian. I don't need this. That dollar store one that we had here, that Faith made, was fabulous. But anyway, so now I'm decorating for every season.
That's perfect.
It's going to have
I love it.
shamrocks on it. It's
Mhm.
gonna have
Little
anything.
bunnies.
Bells,
Yeah.
whistles, bunnies, whatever I can find, carrots,
Okay.
we're gonna put it on there.
Nice.
So I wanted to share that with you. And then I also wanted to tell you that the massage story from last week.
Yes.
So I always put little reels and stuff up on TikTok and Instagram up. It's right now, it's at almost 75,000. Isn't that crazy? The most views we've ever had on anything, even ones where I've had my dogs on, those ones were like 12,000 tops. I think our highest is about 6,000.
Okay.
And this is 5,000.
People love a good rub and
People
tug
like some
story.
dirty stuff. They liked it when we said bag of dicks. They liked it when we said breast milk. They get you dirty crowd out there, aren't they? So
Whatever the algorithm is.
whatever it is, but
I like the couples massage.
but this week's even better than all that.
Yes, because
So-
we are so excited. As you know, I could talk about hair care and products and doing your 24/7. So my wish has come true. And today we are thrilled to welcome Rex Van Pelt to Not Your Mother's Midlife Crisis, because we have been discussing aging hair, and Rex is here to rescue us and help us with our aging hair.
Yes. So
Mhm.
excited. So Rex comes to us with 27 years of experience. She's a master stylist, colorist, and educator at Rexy Salon and Spa in Morristown and Washington Township. And Rex, I hope my hair color looks good for you today. I'm trying
Yeah.
to make you proud. It's hard with the headphones. Sometimes we try to
Mhm.
dial up. Like, you look stunning.
Yes.
You look so
Well,
beautiful.
thank you so
Your
much.
curls.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
So welcome. We're so happy to have
Yeah.
you.
Same.
Yeah, good. I'm glad that you're happy to be here, and I'm glad you said yes. So,
And hopefully you don't think we have old hair.
No.
You say we have old hair, yeah.
so what more can you tell the listeners about you?
So I've been with Rosary for, like you said, 27 years. And I started my journey with doing a lot of bridal hair. Bridal hair was, everybody was coming into the salon for their entire party at that time, or going back to, 99, 2000. Now it's evolved to, that clientele isn't coming into the salon anymore. They're having location services like to you. I'm not doing the bridal anymore, but I've maintained all the guests that I started doing that 27 years ago. So now we're all aging together and into this journey of perimenopause and menopause, and dealing with our aging hair. So I've really, developed now this great relationship with these guests, and they are comfortable enough to talk to me about what's going on and what their concerns are with their hair.
That's good, because it's hard to feel comfortable, because a lot of women were embarrassed of some of all the different aspects of aging. We get embarrassed by it, and we shouldn't, but that's kind of how we're trained. So it's nice that they don't feel that way, Rex. That says a lot about you.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I hope so. I hope so. I'm very
Yeah.
easy to talk to.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
I can attest.
And so what do you think, Rex, are the three biggest mistakes you see women over 40 make with their hair, or even women going through that perimenopause, menopause stage?
Sure. I mean, I think the first one, and I literally just had this discussion twice this past week, are we stop washing our hair. We're like, oh my gosh, my hair is falling out, it's thinning. I'm going to go to washing it once a week. So think about washing your face once a week. That scalp is also skin that we need to take care of and nurture. So, not washing is not helping. We want to create a good balance on that scalp. So getting off that dirt and the sebum off of our scalp is going to give the hair a good place to thrive. And then from that, I would say, we're also not using heat protectants in our hair when we are styling. As you can see, I'm curled today. This is a little bit of my natural and a little bit of an iron mixed in. And I have, I don't know, 5 different things on my hair right now, which I'm not saying that you have to do, but using some type of heat protectant is always a good place to start to help our ends of our hair that, think about how old this hair is. This hair has been with me for a few years now, so I want to try to take care of it the best I can. Um, and then I would say we're waiting a long time in between our appointments for a lot of us. Chris is not that guest, but
Nope.
a lot of guests are going, oh, I don't want to do that chemical service. Maybe it's hurting. It's actually hurting you when you go too long in between because we really do rely, especially for our guests that are worried about gray coverage, we rely on the heat of your head to actually help in the color process. So once that color gets too far out from the heat of the head, we're having to do other things by adding heat or different things to get that coverage to happen. And so it's really better if you are keeping up with your maintenance and also, keeping up with your haircut maintenance. Same for, the ends of your hair, making sure that they're being cut and treated so that we're, maintaining the health of the ends of the hair also.
So, question about the washing. So once a week is not
Yeah.
enough, but is every day too much?
Yes, I would say for most people, every day is going to be too much. It's definitely going to, cut down the lifeline of your color and maybe be a little bit too much, especially as we age and we don't have the same oils on our scalp. So, yeah, I would say that's a little too much for most people.
Very good. All right. So if they're the three things that hurt,
Yeah.
what are three things that we can do to help in our everyday?
Okay. So I think, having this, like Chris and I do, having a good relationship with your stylist so you can come in and have a conversation about this is what's going on and let them determine what is happening with, is it that your scalp is imbalanced and we maybe need to do an in-salon treatment or send you home with some type of treatment. But having a conversation about, having an open conversation about what your concerns are with your hair. Um, and then, you know, I talked about using like a bunch of products on my hair today. Using the quality products, the best quality available to you. That doesn't mean that, I work in a high-end salon. So of course I use some higher end products. But, just recently I was walking through Target with my husband and I'm like, let me peek down that aisle because, quite honestly, I really don't being working in a salon, I
Yeah.
don't go down that aisle too often. There were a ton of things available. Everything from like, $10 Dove had a serum for your scalp to, like I'd say $20 being the max. Use what's best quality available to your budget. But
That's
not
really good
not
advice.
not doing it. Yeah, I think then we instead of just, saying, "No, I'm relying on a haircut to fix my problems of, my aging hair, my aging scalp is really not going to be the best benefit. A haircut is great. I want you to get that haircut, but we need to be doing some things to maintain the quality of our hair as it's aging at home too. I myself am using a few different things for my scalp to benefit the hydration in my scalp. I'm using some fortifying treatments on my ends. I'm using a densifying shampoo. So all of those things are aiding in my hair as it's aging, and I'm dealing myself with perimenopausal hair loss. And that will, lead me into talking about the new treatment that we're using, which is also going to be a really big benefit for aging hair and hair loss, hair thinning, any of that. I mean, I do have some guests that are dealing with a lot of prenatal, no, not prenatal,
We went. Yeah.
Yeah.
after the baby. I don't have
Yeah.
kids. Is that Jonah? After the baby hair loss, and this can also be used for that. But there are a lot of out there from topical treatments out there for those things. We're using it's called Calisum, and it's a stem cell derived product. And we teach you how to use it, and then you do it at home. That was a really big thing for myself and my other stylist, Chris, who that we were trying to find a treatment that you were able that any of our clients are able to do at home because really, the reality of saying, I'm going to get in, twice a week to do this treatment, it's just, everybody's working and has kids and, life. So we wanted something that was something that we could do at home. And honestly, what I really liked about this one in particular, I've used other ones, but what I liked about this one is that it isn't an everyday. I don't have to every night before I go to bed remember, along with my 12-step skincare routine, wait, hold on, let me, also take care of this. So it's what I really do like is that it has a ton of, it's thousands of growth factors, and it's waking up that follicle from their own PTT6 technology, which is stem cell derived.
That's really cool. Yes, I did see your before and afters on those, and I'm probably going to ask deeper questions about that.
Yeah.
But are there other we have so many treatments we could do for our face. Like, we do microneedling, we do laser, we do all this stuff. Are there any other treatments that enhance the shine, durability, anything like that for our hair?
Sure, absolutely. That's going back to like, talking to your guest, talking to your stylist about, what your concerns are with your hair, and they can kind of determine what that plan should be. I know, Chris, we've done on you some from, what we use in our salon. It's kind of one of these things, what when I'm in this field is that I know what we use. Right. So I know Oribe, I know Aveda. We have some great in salon treatments that you can do to help with all of that. And I do those on a lot of my guests. And then I can send you home with something if that's something you'd prefer. But again, there are a ton that are right in, your target, and that you can do that mask at home to help with the dryness. But first, have that conversation with your stylist to see what is it that I need. Am I really just needing, something to help with my scalp? Or is it, do I need to really focus on the ends of my hair so that we can get you using the right things and not too much, not, using too many different things.
So, what type of ingredients should we be avoiding? Whether we're buying a heat protectant, our shampoo and conditioner, or any type of treatment, what ingredients should we go? That's a no for our hair.
It's a really hard question. I think sulfates, that's been the hot topic, especially since keratin treatment started, being a big thing. But sulfates are really going to break down any kind of chemical service. So your, color, keratin, any of that that's being done, the sulfates are going to just wear it out faster. They're going to, really suds it up. It's a sudsing factor. It's really going to wash that hair out or wash that chemical out of the hair a lot faster. And it always was like, look out for it being like water and alcohol as your first ingredients. They get funny with that stuff. These companies have been able to make their way of label it something different, especially alcohols. It's like, same with any other product that we're looking at the shelf, whether, come to what we're eating or vitamins and all that kind of thing. Like, they can finagle and say that it's derived from alcohol. So it's not alcohol, or it's under a certain percentage. So we don't have to put it on there. It's all the way that we can get away with the labeling. I would really say sulfates are a big one, for me personally, as a stylist. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that, would have other triggers out there for them.
Okay. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
I am someone that 4 years ago, I grew my hair out naturally. I couldn't take the gray roots anymore. I would sit on these Zoom calls and I would see these roots come in. And after a week of coloring, I would see the roots and it would make me crazy. So I had enough. I did the grow out, and what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how it came in, like, I'm expecting it's coming all white and everything like that. But I've gotten, probably from people that knew me that I grew out, I've gotten a lot of comments,
Her hair
questions.
looks great. Like
It's
I
like,
Absolutely.
wish I could
Love
have
it.
that.
um,
Right.
but as a professional, what's some advice that you can give to women who are letting their hair go gray naturally?
Yeah, it's super popular right now. We're having so many women that either want to go completely gray like you did, or the gray blending is like a really, really, really big thing right now. I think the big thing is have that discussion. Your stylist, especially if you are seeing someone regularly, they really know what percentage of gray excuse me, where you may really just have a little bit of gray in the front, like myself. If I grew it out, it would not be this beautiful, gray like you have. And they look at these pictures like, this is what I want. I'm like, well, it's really not what you have. So me too. I want that too. But that's not how my gray is going to be if I let my gray grow in. And either, we can look at pictures that are closer to what you are going to be, because I really always want to have that open and honest conversation of, let me do what I can actually, let me give you what I think is going to be best, and not, what did it say? Underperform, oversell, underperform,
Hmm.
and I think that's a big thing with my industry, is just saying, yes, 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 especially as a young stylist. So we're just, saying, "Oh, sure, yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna get you that perfect gray." And then your hair grows and you're like, "Well, no, that's not at
Yeah.
all." So I really, again, I think it's always good to, bring this to your stylist, throw it on them either. You come in for your regular touch-up appointment, which is, for most people, either a 15 or a 30-minute time slot and say, "So I'd like to be gray today,"
Yeah.
because that is a journey.
Oh,
It's
it
a
is.
journey. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it's
it's years. Like, by the
absolutely.
time like and the same thing and we did kinda plan for it because I had been talking about it, and kinda like like what steps we needed to take. I do know
Yeah.
now that it is natural. I probably do try and spend more time on it so it doesn't look like old hair. Thank you, Sue. You know what I mean? So it's not like that, like, I don't even want like, kinda like, to kinda soften it up.
Like more product or more heat?
I think I don't know, like, I feel
Oh,
like I do all. I try
right.
and do
Yeah.
product the same thing, like your whole, like, purple shampoo and try and take out the brassiness and,
Mhm.
like a blonde like a hair oil just to make sure that it's not that just kinda
Okay.
doesn't look old.
Yeah, well, we're used to
Mhm,
exactly. We're used to how our hair felt with color on it.
mhm,
So the color kind of, for a lot of people, it gives it a little bit of smoothness. So I actually have a guest who she's really young and she has the most amazing gray hair. I have to post a picture because it's absolutely beautiful. So we do a keratin on her because that actually gives her the smoothest. She has very, very curly, coily hair. It gives
mhm.
her the smoothness that the color gave her before. It kind of fills in those gaps and helps her smooth that hair out. I mean, that's not, for everyone, but it really does help her. It helped her maintain her gray and it looks shiny and healthy and everything. But I do think that it's really, really gaining a lot of traction, everybody wanting to go gray. And I think it's having a realistic expectation and being patient is another big thing because there are a lot of stylists all over the country that will do that service for you in one day. What you're not seeing, of course, with social media
How?
is the maintenance at home. Well, how is it's a lot of harder chemical products on your hair. So, number one, your hair has to be determined if we can do that all in one day kind of service. I know personally mine would melt right off,
I
but
wouldn't yeah.
no,
Me
no,
too,
Chris,
yeah.
we're not doing that, sorry.
Don't worry, I'm not
Mhm,
ready.
yeah. So does your client or does your guest that gets the keratin, does she have to do it more frequently since she has the
Nah,
natural hair? Okay.
I mean, she really doesn't, but she's also not going for anything. She doesn't wear it straight all the time. She kind of, lets it go curly. She really just wants that little bit of smooth and frizz relief that provides for her gray. So no, not really, I mean, I think she does it maybe twice a year.
Okay.
That's not bad.
No, and she's really good, she does all the things that you said using, some purple shampoos to help, and, it's beautiful. Her hair's gorgeous, and I love gray. I'm definitely the stylist that's gonna say, if I look at you and think, like, "This is gonna look great," and you're, wanting to maybe think about doing that, I'm all here for it, and for some people, it is that completely like, "Okay, we're gonna stop. I'll see you for haircuts," and it's hard. It's really hard. I have a couple guests that are doing it right now. They're retired, so they were like, "This is I'm not on camera all day. I'm, not having to wear a suit anymore." Or, it really does depend on what your lifestyle is in which journey you can do, whether it is the gray blending aspect or it is just, letting it go, and letting it grow and kind of embracing that. But there's a whole lot of awkward in between.
Oh, yeah, I
And
wasn't
we
gutsy.
have to
I
be
was
ready.
not gutsy enough to just go cold turkey. I had to do the
Right.
no, yeah, no way.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, no.
I thought you just went cold turkey.
Oh,
I
no.
was like, "Oh,
Oh, no.
well," 'cause her hair's like blonde and gray, like, it
Right.
blends, it
Yeah, no.
looks good.
Definitely, a lot easier versus yourself, Chris. Like the
Sure.
guest that I have right now is dark. So, I mean, she wears it really short, advantage, because we're gonna kind of keep cutting out her gray. And even her last haircut, I told her, I was like, okay, we have to get ready for some awkward places where because she's really short, like pixie short, the sides of her hair are going to be gray and her top isn't. Her top isn't, as prevalent as. So it's almost going to look like, what is that intentional, not
What are you
intentional?
doing? Right. What do you
Right,
got
right,
going
right.
on
What's
there?
what's happening here? This is a really funky haircut Rex
I
is
know.
giving you.
I feel like I get that.
Yeah, you know, I
I
mean, and that's
style my hair.
again why you need to have that conversation, and really, you know, give time for you and your stylist to have that conversation, and not, you know, have expectations that it's going to be a one day and done situation. Because even if it is, even if you leave the salon, you know, like I said, these stylists that are doing that, there's a whole when you read deeper into it, this is what you have to do when you get home and go see your regular stylist and keep toning it and all of that because no matter what, our hair always washes out warm. So, you know, we do this whole process of stripping your hair and getting it to this gray. And then within a couple months, it's warm. So
Yeah, I
you do have
understand,
to have that follow up.
and it grows in the way it grows in. It's
Mhm.
not
Yep,
gonna yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, like I said,
Absolutely.
I got all this, like, I
yeah,
was
I'm like,
crazy. I got all this
uh,
pepper underneath is
Yeah.
like a
yeah. I was like,
crazy all peppy,
that
like,
doesn't
so it's just, it is kind of,
right,
I was
it's not a
almost like,
forever
wow, look at that.
thing, yeah.
Oh,
So, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so can you say the name of the treatment again for the hair
Oh,
breakage?
sure. Yes. Callus.
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 I don't
Okay.
know why I
Yes.
have a hard time with this
And
one.
everybody does.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Callus, I just gotta
I
keep
think because it looks like calcium and we're thinking,
yes.
you know, "Oh, it's great, it's strong," but and it is great, I do love it.
Okay.
And like I said, there are other topicals, but that's the one that I'm using, and that's what I have, experience with
Alright.
personally, so
So I know because I have the hair breakage.
yes.
Like, my hair and I'm trying not to blow dry it as much. I'm trying all the things. I don't wear it in a
Yeah,
ponytail, a tight ponytail anymore,
right.
but I'm still having the breakage, and I did see your pictures that this treatment really does work. Can you just tell us, like, a little bit more, like, the whole process, start to finish
Sure.
about it?
So when you come in and we can determine what your concerns are, if it is thinning or if it is just, you know, overall quality of our hair. And then we decide whether you're going to be on a 6 week or 12-week treatment phase. The treatment phase is twice a week. And then beyond that, it is once a week. And that is indefinitely, but that is any topical, unless we are doing permanent surgery and putting in hair. Right. Exactly. That's the only thing that is forever. So a topical, any topical is going to be you know, where we use it for forever. So then we show you how to it's almost like a light micro needling. It's a little stamper in the most affected areas. For most of us, that's going to be kind of in the crown of our hair or head, excuse me, and in around that hairline. Most times, I mean, you'll even see like, you know, 90-year-old men that still have hair back from the, you know, their, what we say their occipital bone down. So it's not something that we're going to have to do our entire head and take lots of time. It's about 10 minutes. If that, I definitely do it a lot faster. So once you start doing it, so you're going to do the microneedling and then you're going to apply the serum, do a light pass with the microneedling again and give your head a little massage, which is just going to help to stimulate that blood flow to the scalp. Then you wait 24 hours to wash. You want that serum to sit in for 24 hours. There's absolutely no residue on your hair. It doesn't feel oily, nothing. That was a big question for a lot of guests because most of us, you know, that are using this are thinning. So we don't want anything that's going to get oily or weigh it down, anything like that. This does not. It feels like there's nothing in the hair. You can use your regular product to style afterwards. Absolutely. And so, like I said, then I'm out of the treatment phase right now myself. So now I'm down to once a week, which is
Okay.
great.
Okay.
And then,
Very good.
so then once a week, you just do that and
Yep.
massage it in. Okay.
Yep.
At home.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was saying, what does this amazing treatment cost?
Okay. So, look, it's going to vary depending upon where you are. I'm sure in our salon, there is a cost to the actual application. So, the application you come in first when we do show you how to do it at home. So, that is I believe, $65 to $70 price point, and it's about a 30-minute service. And then the part of that you're taking home, the actual treatments, which each kit contains enough for that 6 week is 310, I believe.
That's not bad.
Um, it's not,
You're not saying it's $800. You're saying it's
no,
under
and that's
$400, and
absolutely.
I'm
And
gonna
then
have
once,
hair growth, right?
yeah, yeah, and then beyond, once you're at the maintenance phase of it, that kit is getting you 12 weeks because you're only using it
Once a
once
week.
a week. Then, so it works out to like 25 or $30. I don't know. I'm a hairdresser, not good at math. So it's really pretty nominal. I'm always like, stay in your lane. This is what I know, but it's not much. It's really not
Okay.
for me. But again, it has to work in your budget. I never will speak to anybody's budget. I'm a pretty frugal gal in a lot of ways, but hair care, skincare is where I'll spend my money. So, yeah,
We get it.
Yeah.
We're
we
right
could
there
skip
with you.
We appreciate that too.
the big brands of purses and stuff like that. But that's me. That's where I choose to, spend my money. So yeah, I don't think it's bad, but it has to work for your budget.
Okay.
Okay, good.
So I know another treatment, and Chris and I talk about this all the
Oh,
time, and I can't wait for us to be talking about it again, which will be coming up in the warmer weather, is the anti-humidity anti-frizz
Yeah.
treatments. So I did Magic Sleek, which I loved. Magic Sleek cannot be done on natural hair, naturally gray hair, I guess.
it
Right.
turns it yellow.
Yeah, they
Turns
said
it
and
yellow.
then you'll
Well,
yeah.
you saw what it did to my
And,
color.
and I even, I emailed the company, called their 800 just to confirm because it was great and it worked out great with my hair,
Mhm.
because I do have a lot of texture to my hair and I have thick hair. So then I did the Saison the
Yes,
summer before, which I liked.
I did it,
It
and I
worked.
had it
Yeah.
changed my hair color as well.
It just was not as good as Magic Sleek, and then I did
Rex had to work forever.
the keratin treatment last year,
You did, yeah.
but it just doesn't
Doesn't
last as
last,
long.
yeah.
So I guess this, maybe I forget when I ever I did it. So it's not, it just the product doesn't last as long. And I tried to do and follow along again, no salt water, all that other stuff, just to be really
Right.
careful. So what do you recommend? And kind of give us the good, the bad, the ugly for all of
Yeah.
them. Is it okay to do that or?
Well, sure. So again, I feel like it's one of these things where you know what you know. Like I know what we use. So in my salon, we use a varying different types of keratins. We have a few different ones, and we do the Brazilian blowout treatment. So I know those best, and we have had other ones in the past that I believe kind of work on the same line as the Magic Slick. It's similar, but they were a lot harder in the hair. Personal my experience. So I really do try to encourage guests to do either the keratin or the Brazilian blowout. I just feel that I see a better result in the integrity of the hair. So good is that, they're all going to help in smooth and defrizzing in some capacity. It is nice that it is temporary. It isn't something that we're doing permanent, which some of the older ones were. I think I argued with one of my guests for over a year about this one where it was really harsh on her hair. I kept saying, look, I can't control what I wasn't doing the service, and she was having breakage in her whole hairline, and it was just a very hard product on the hair. So I like ones that are personally a softer in the hair, which I think that the keratin and the Brazilian blowout are. That they're not as harsh and don't change the structure of the hair as much. Like I said, my guest who still wears it curly, you can still wear it curly if you want to. It's not going to break down the structure of the hair so much that you don't have that ability. It just makes it easier for you to style at home. So I think those are the good things about those products. The other side of it is it's still a chemical service. So if that's your concern, then, that's understandable. There are some natural ones out there. I've tried to do some research with them. Again, varying degrees of how long do they last, all of that. A lot of them work on like an infrared light. So it's something that not out of my control because I don't own the salon. And, I can't say, hey, can we invest in this, tool? So there are some across the country that do that. And again, they just all have varying degrees of how long they last. And, most of them that do have a type, again, all in our labeling, a type of formaldehyde derived product, right? So the big thing with that is that most of the off gases that are being inhaled are by us. You're still there, you're still in the room. I know our salon, we have a really great system to try to help with that, the air quality, and it is a very large place, so that definitely helps. But most of that off gas is onto the stylist, unfortunately. But again, if that's a concern for you, they're still there. They're still in there. So I think that could be, as the bad part of that. And you do want to go to somebody that you again trust because you want to make sure that their tools they're using the proper tools, they're using good tools that are getting to the proper heat, not overheating the hair. I'm not doing way too many passes through the hair that's going to create some damage. So, I mean, I think a good rule of thumb is to say if I wouldn't go there for a blow dry, probably wouldn't get a treatment there.
Okay. Yeah, that's good advice.
That's-
Yeah, because I know we product it up in the summer with all
Yeah.
those anti-frizz,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, and
mean,
then
there's
anti-humidity. Yeah.
well spray. I mean,
I
or
was
you're
just going to
Yeah.
say, there's a
Yeah.
ton of products to like just temporary, just washing out that night. Wow is a great one. I think I use that on every single one of my guests. The fortifying treatment that I use on myself daily has a little bit of a frizz. Most of them have some kind of anti-frizz factor to them. So, you put enough in the right combination on to try as best as we can. Look, it's still, there's no miracle, right? If you're at the shore and it's really humid and you live in New Jersey, I can help. I can help. Right. Exactly. Exactly. I can help, but it's, sometimes a losing battle of the frizz.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what product that you use in your hair?
I'm using Orbay
Okay.
most of the time, either Orbay or, well, I mean, I do use a little bit of everything from our salon, which is Aveda, Orbay, R& and Co, are what we predominantly use. And then
That's
we
what I
have little
have.
pieces of the Wow.
Yes.
Right, of course, because you come to me.
Yep.
But I do really like the Orbay for the anti-frizz. They do have an entire anti-humidity line. They have an anti-humidity spray to use afterwards, which is so does R& and Co. Actually, they're like kind of sister products. And that's a really nice thing to keep in your purse and have with you if you are on that day that you're down the shore. And it's something that you can apply afterwards when it's dry, which not a lot of lines have.
Yeah.
Okay. So is the grandiose, is that an anti-heat?
Grandiose, not necessarily. That's actually for more fullness.
Okay.
It is, Chris. Let's see.
Was it a heat protectant? I thought
It's
that.
they're all going to have a level of heat protectant to it for
Okay.
sure. Yeah, that definitely has some heat protectant built in, but the specific anti-humidity one is just, anti-humidity
Okay.
spray.
Yeah. I think I just have the Well. So
The
I have the Orbay
Grandiose?
Grandiose, which
Okay.
is, I was pretty sure it was the heat protectant, but I was like, oh,
It definitely has a heat protectant factor to it
so
for
I
sure.
should I be using more than just that then as a heat protectant?
You could use, I mean, again, I do some things wet and some things dry. And it depends on, then what type of heat are you then flat ironing? Are you curling? Is it just your blow dryer? If you're doing just your blow dryer, I think the Grandiose is going to be fine. If you're then adding on, like I did today, I'm going to use some other products before I'm ironing my hair with that kind of level of heat.
It's so funny. You're like saying these like, oh, different. I'm like, the blow dryer goes on for 10 minutes and it's done. It's either
And then
done
we're
in 10
done.
minutes
Yeah.
or that's it. Sometimes I'll put it, I have the wand, the Dyson wand. So every so often I'll do curl. But yeah,
And
I feel
think
like
that's
I need a whole course. I think we need to schedule like an
no
hour.
problem. Sure. No, I mean, that's most, I feel like, women in my age group, or in our age group that are doing that. They're really just blow drying and that's that. But if you are adding that extra heat element, like especially the one, definitely want to use something in there. Even most hairsprays are going to have a heat protectant quality to them. And I think that that's a big misstep. A lot of guests do. They're like, oh, I do the one and then it falls out. Well, I mean, I have, like I said, 5 different things, and that's going to really keep it lasting all day. Goes back to my bridal roots of
Mhm.
using a good amount of product in the hair. I mean, I years ago had a guest that was like her bridal day and said, I don't want to use any product. Can we not use hairspray? No,
No,
we can't do
it's
that.
your wedding
That's not,
day.
you're right. That's not going to work. So just like this, if we want it to last all day, we want to be using some proper products while we're styling our hair.
Okay.
And
Well,
when
that's a lot of good
and when you
information.
come to Pitbull next year, you can use the
All right.
curling wand.
All right.
You don't have to do more than 10 minutes
I'll
on
do
your
all the stuff. All right.
when you zhuzh up for the
I'm
Pitbull
gonna
concert
zhuzh
next
up.
year.
So, oh
Uh-huh.
it's his birthday this month, by the way.
Okay.
He's 45. It's in
Oh.
our age game.
Nice.
All right. So moving on, color shampoos, because tell me how you really feel, not as a guest, just tell me how you really, really feel as I'm looking at my hair. I didn't use any color shampoo. You just colored me last week. I'm good.
So as far as color protecting shampoos,
No. Color shampoo. Okay.
like
You're going to
shampoo
give me
that
the
has
whole
color
9
in
yards.
it or color or something that's
I'll
going to
tell you what,
protect your color.
I know, no. So I
Mhm.
like the Herbish color shampoo that I used and I came to you, I said, look how dark my hair is but I let the I let the shampoo wear out, so my roots were really long or really yeah,
Yes.
my roots. So I was using the Herbish Color shampoo, which I will say my hair felt really nice. It was a little bit dark. I want that darker shade. Well, color shampoos
Color
that women are
enhancing shampoos.
yeah, so
That's
not
what that would
ones
be, a color enhancing.
yeah, so not one that's gonna I are like we can discuss that, like shampoos that help your color last longer, but I wanna know what you think about shampoos that have the color in it and that actually change the color or enhance the color that you have.
So depending upon our situation of what is our color service like in the salon, because those can affect what I'm doing on your hair. And if you're not being open like yourself, Chris, and honest about that you are using that, that can really change the color service that you're having done. So, somebody that's really light and is putting something like that on that, as soon as I start to lighten that hair and use a lightening product, that's really going to come out and I'll get a nice little surprise. So we don't want surprise. And it's not, going to then turn into the color that you're paying for, that you're, there for. So we want to be honest and say what we're using. I think some of them are nice. We used to have a line years ago that we used a lot that was a light, had just a little bit of deposit color in it that would enhance your color as you're washing. I'm a redhead, right? So the reds are first to want to come out of the hair. So for a lot of guests, that is what works for them, is using a color enhancing shampoo. It's having, again, the discussion to find out which one, what tone is going to work best, because certain ones like you were using, that if it's too much, after
There is a lot.
time, it's going to build up. Right. So, as we're using that and it builds into the hair, it builds onto the hair, um that that could be a problem. Then I have to go in and I have to try to remove it. And so if we're just using it once in a while, we're at the end of our color service,
Right.
our timeline, like we're getting closer to coming in to have our color done again, and we're just looking to enhance the washout factor, fine. But I think, just again, be honest about what you're using. We have a lot of times where people don't want to do that, and I mean, somebody like me, I'm so not an intimidating person to to have that discussion with. I want you to be honest. But I think most of us do. It's going to make our job easier, with being honest about what you're using. And so I think they're great if they're used properly.
Okay.
There's a lot of really nice ones out there. We get into the kids using them on, and mom's having a heart attack, and these like funky colors and stuff, that they can be an adventure because sometimes
Their
they
hair's
don't like to
young.
come out. Right.
They get
Yeah.
young
It's totally
hair.
different. Or they're swimmers and their hair's really porous, or, they're short. And all of a sudden they're left with this, like, I can't get this pink out of their hair. I'm like, oh, unfortunately, sometimes these things that say temporary, it really depends on the porosity of your hair for us too. So sometimes they're not as temporary as we would like them to be. So because the porosity has changed and it's more of a sponge, and it's going to soak that up and really keep that a lot longer than we want it to be.
Right. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, just even
Yeah.
like our skin. So,
Yeah, right, right.
yeah,
Totally.
different products affect your skin depending on how,
Yeah,
how porous you are.
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Absolutely.
So did we miss anything that you feel would be important for women to know,
No,
whether
I mean,
product wise or treatment wise?
no, I don't think so. I think, I think I'm so happy to be doing it as long as I've been doing it, and have this amazing connection with so many of my guests, and as so many stylists out there do. And I think that that's what's really important, making a connection, no matter, again, what your price point is. I don't care if it's going to the local small place and having a connection with your stylist, that you can, especially at our age, talk openly about our concerns with our hair. I have, a lot of male clients that I've been doing since they were little kids, kind of middle school age, that are now, as their hair's changing. And because they've been coming to me for so many years, they're able to have that conversation and, talk about what's happening with their hair. And that doesn't, it's not easily formed, that bond, but I think it's important to try to create a good relationship with your stylist, that you can have that conversation and be honest about, your concerns with your hair, so we can lead you down the right path. So I think try to stay with a stylist if you can, and create that relationship.
So for aging men's hair, we'll give a shout
Yeah.
out for our super fan
yeah. Yeah.
Brian, to help him. Is there
I'm sure
anything
Wait, did you just say my husband has old hair?
No,
I'm just
no,
kidding. I'm
no,
just kidding.
no.
I mean, he's been gray since he's 19. I'm
No.
only kidding.
No, but to
Mine
me,
has
like, is there
none,
is there
so
advice
Okay.
for like is advice for men with that are aging and their hair?
Yes.
I mean, it's
You're not
really
you
the
don't have old hair,
same.
Brian.
I'm just
It's the same as us,
Okay.
I mean, really, I
okay.
think a lot of times they're a little bit more hesitant to talk about their hair loss with their stylists. So again, having that like really good
It's not like you're not gonna
relationship.
see it.
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, we are going to probably be the first ones to know where you're
Yep,
really
exactly.
thinning. And again, I'm fortunate enough to have that great relationship with many of my guests to say, there's a lot of times I catch things before, they've gone to dermatologists and things like that. Like we have a concern. One of my coworkers just went through the same thing, I guess that she's been doing for years. And all of a sudden she's like, she saw this inflammation in her scalp and she went to the doctor. Yeah, sure enough, she had this like very specifically, or excuse me, specific alopecia that caught early enough, hopefully will help her from losing a lot of her hair. And it's because they have, this relationship that she was able to say this to her and say, hey, I think you should go to see the dermatologist, which, I feel I've done that a few times with some of my guests, that I'm not a doctor. I'm not ever going to give you, like I have so many guests who are, what do I do? And it's, they want me to give them advice and I'm the first to tell them, go see a doctor and then come to me. We can talk about, the topical things that I can do, but let's make sure that there isn't something else underlying that's going on. But yeah, I feel like men, really, they have the same concerns as us. A lot of times they see this thinning a lot earlier than we do in most cases. So them being able to have an open and honest conversation, whether it's with their barber or their hairstylist, of, what can I be doing? What should I be doing?
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right, so there's a segment that we have on every week that we usually don't do when we have a guest, but since we have you, we
Yeah.
decided that we're going to ask you. So we always do 50 Shades of Health and Beauty. So it's where one of us shares something that we learned, either hair care, workout, diet, anything. But since your skin and your makeup look so beautiful, what should women, and I did just recently learn that, and I think I saw it on TikTok, so I get too much education, which I don't know if it's actually education on TikTok,
Sure.
that women over 50 shouldn't wear black eyeliner anymore. And I was like, well, I'm 6 years behind that trend. So I have
Same.
switched to the brown. Yes. But what other important things for women and makeup could you give us
When
a little
makeup.
something?
Okay, so totally not a makeup artist, but
You look like it.
thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think a lot of times we're suggesting getting away from wearing heavy foundations. Myself, I just use a skin tint oil. Other things are really falling into my fine lines, and I have not started the journey of any other injectables. So we're trying to keep myself, not having product that's going to fall into my fine lines. So yeah, that's for me, that's what I use. I love it. It took me a while to find one that I really liked, and I felt like my natural skin shined through, and didn't feel too heavy. But yeah, I really recommend. I love a skin tint or oil, type of
And what
product.
brand do you use?
I use Typology, and
Okay.
again, definitely influenced online, and
Mhm.
it's like, all right, let me take the shot. I really love it.
Oh,
I
good.
really love it. But it's playing with seeing which one works for you. I've used a lot of BB creams and CC creams and all
Mhm.
those type of things. And this is at this age where I am with my lines and things like that, what is working well for me. I mean, I use a lot of things from like higher end products to really inexpensive. I know you guys were talking about my lip color. It's Maybelline, so like I run the gamut. There's so many things in my drawers in there. But yeah, I love the typology. I'm a big fan. I want to look like a French girl. Don't we all?
Okay, and then I have a 50 Shades question. What's your favorite hairspray that still kinda keeps your hair in place, but doesn't kinda have that going flashback to the '80s, '90s Aquanet stiff feel?
I have one, but
Mhm. Yeah.
Is
no.
it the same as mine, which is
I,
Orbet?
oh no, I was going to say
Oh,
the air control, the Aveda air control.
oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Personal preference
Yes.
point.
Okay.
Mhm.
Cannot stand the smell.
I know, we
Totally.
talked about that.
I
Okay.
I
It kinda
can't
smells
do
like a
it.
baby.
Yeah.
I
Oh, I like that, but
Maybe
and
that's why.
sometimes it doesn't give enough oh. Oh.
I didn't say a baby's
No babies
butt.
here. No, you know what? I think I had a real when that came out, that hairspray, we did a
Everybody
show in New York City. It was H&M's first show, first runway show ever. And there were 100 models, 40 hairstylists, all spraying that hairspray. And it kind of hangs in the air like a cloud.
Mhm.
And I mean, I think it's like, you have that one drink when you're, 21 and can never have it again. I don't even want to be near a stylist that's using it. I'll just,
Okay.
slowly move it and put my Orbe on their station.
Okay.
Well,
But
I never
it
come with
is really
hairspray.
nice. It works really well. So if that is something that doesn't trigger you the way it triggers me, great. Um, I love my Orbe. Again, it's a price point that isn't comfortable
Okay.
for everyone. So Kenra it always gets like, best of on a lot of the lists. It's a more comfortable price point, not quite a Aquanet, cheap,
Mhm.
but it's maybe a better price point than the Orbe is. And I do really like Kenra a lot. I used that for years and years and years on my
Okay.
brides outside of the salon.
Awesome. Thank you.
I hope
Yeah.
that you're not gonna, like, have to have a therapy session for your PTSD of the
No,
air control.
it was bad.
I'm
Right.
so
My
sorry.
boss
I
was like,
forgot.
go get
We
some
had
food. I said,
yeah,
I need air. I need to get out of this tent. It was
and it gets in your throat.
suffocating.
Yeah.
My gosh,
I
it
get
it
it.
was
I
just
get it.
way too much, and I was already a bundle of nerves because this was such a big
Sure.
show, and, like, Lenny
Yeah.
Kravitz was there, and, like, every top model, so I'm already, like, on the verge, and then I can't breathe, so, it
So
was
cool.
a lot
Yeah.
of things, and, that's it. I can't do it ever again.
Okay.
It's so funny, like, my favorite one is the one ah,
That I hate the
anyway.
most.
Alright,
No, I
so,
know.
alright, where can our listeners find you if they want, to either become a client or just to follow you for whatever you're posting on your socials?
Okay, I'm the world's worst poster, but
You're
RV
pretty good, I've
it's
seen.
New Year's resolution.
Yes,
Be
and you're
better.
doing well.
Be better. So RVP Hair is my Instagram. And then I am at Rosiri Salon in Morristown. I'm at the Morristown location. So either of those places will get you to me. And for sure, send me a DM if you're interested in anything that we talked about today. And, I'd love to chat.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is
You're so welcome.
yeah,
Thank you.
this is
Thank you
like
so much
such a
for
great
having me.
treat.
I hope I didn't just ramble on.
No, I
Oh,
think you gave
no.
us and our listeners a lot of really great information, so we are really grateful.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Rex, and thanks to our affiliates that we have, Cindy Dupuy, A Living Balance, The Pelvic Store Floor, and Under Outfit.
Yes. And don't forget to order our merch.
Yes, don't forget.
Yeah, it's in the show notes.
So
Mhm.
thank you again, Rex. You were absolutely amazing. You
Yes.
look stunning,
God.
and I am gonna have to book a longer appointment. I'll text you. So
Yeah.
Yes,
We'll have
anytime,
to do
please.
we should do back to back.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
We'll just do
I'm
we'll do
here
2 for
for
1.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Just kidding.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
all right. Well,
the girl's got to make
thank you.
money.
Thank
Yeah.
you again. And we will be back again next week where we continue to seek answers for women's health care.
And support one another.
Have a great day. Thank
Take
you.
care.